So Overwatch in general went through a bunch of changes, of course, since launch. You had multiple hero changes. Some heroes like Cassidy went through many, many changes, such as his flashbang. Instead of flashing people, it went into a grenade, then went back to a flashbang where it doesn't really stun people, just slows them down. Back and forth. There's other characters that had changes like Torbjorn's turret, where when he ults, it turns into a level 3, but now it doesn't do that anymore. He has a Bolton core. There's a lot of other things like armor packs from him. You got Symmetra's turrets where you can't, in Overwatch 1, you couldn't throw them. You have to place them on the wall. In a new one, you can like throw them across the map. Very interesting. There's a lot of changes here. Even Winston's right click, he got a new right click in Overwatch 2, of course. A lot of changes that made the abilities faster, I will say. It made the whole game faster pace, and it made the whole game a lot more confusing, in my opinion. With the addition of new heroes and the game being so much faster pace, the games are very, very one-sided. Every single Overwatch 2 game I have been in ever since the launch of Overwatch 2, mostly like 90% of my games at least, even in ranked and regular play, they have been one-sided games. And that's just not good. In Overwatch 1 at least, the games were never really one-sided like that. Like, yes, of course you'll get some games like that, but in Overwatch 2, it's just so much more one-sided than it's ever been in any video game I've ever played. It's so one-sided in every game. It's like if you have one bad tank, then you lose the game. And that's another reason. Like 6v6 is gone and it's a 5v5 game. So it's ridiculous that they have one tank determining the game. If your tank dies, then you lose the game. Unless your teammates literally kill their tank, and then you have a DPS fight, basically. In Overwatch 1, at least if one tank died, you still have another tank to fight the other two tanks. And you still have some defense, you still have some attack with that tank. That tank could have ultimate and whatnot. Like a Reinhardt could have Shatter, a Hog could have his Q. Nowadays, it's not like that. Your tank dies, you basically lose. And if your tank plays bad, so say if you have a bad tank player in your team, and he's having bad games, you just lose the game because it's one tank now. Back in the day, you had two tanks, obviously, so the second tank could pick up his slack and you guys could win the game. And overall, I feel like removing it back to 5v5 and not having 6v6, I feel like not having 6v6 made the players in the game not want to try as hard. Even in Overwatch 1, where I had a bunch of one-trick heroes, someone would come in there as a Symmetra one-trick, someone would come in there as a Torb one-trick, and etc. of these characters, Bastion, Cassidy, aka McCree, one tricks. You got everybody's a one trick on random heroes, Pharah one tricks. But they would actually play the game and they would actually try to win in the game. But in Overwatch 2, it's like these one tricks don't really care. Like they get in there, they lose. Okay, cool, go on next. And that's all it is. At least in Overwatch 1, the whole community had a better, I don't know, just a better overall value of the game, I guess you would say, which is very weird to say, but that's like what they had. They had a better value of the game and they actually wanted to win the game. And I think that's because that there's one less player, so it feels way more faster paced. So if you lose the game instantly, or if one of your tanks die, you basically lose the game and they can determine, okay, we're just going to lose the game now overall. But at least in Overwatch 1, there was a lot more players to work with. So the 2 extra players in the game is a lot for this game. And you can work with them and then you guys can bring it back. So if your tank died, then you can bring it back instead of, just lose the whole game overall. And again, like I was saying about the fast pace of the game, there's a lot more effects on your screen. So most of the time in Overwatch 2, you do not know what's going on. There's so many heroes, new heroes at least. And this is not even specifically about the new heroes, really. It's good to have new heroes in the game. But once the abilities are so fast-paced, then it's really hard. Like, for example, Widow's hook is very, very slow in Overwatch 1. Widow's right-click, using the right-click on Widow is very slow as well. A bunch of these characters are very slow other than, like, example for Tracer. Other than Tracer, every character's got some movement penalties in Overwatch 1 at least that we don't have in Overwatch 2. And it really slows the game down and it makes the game better. And I feel like every single character should get a little movement nerf and the ability nerfs, so they're not as fast paced. That's what I just feel like. If you play Overwatch Classic right now in the mode and you never played Overwatch 1, then try it out. You'll feel how slower the game mode is and how slower the game is overall. And that's what makes a better game. That's what makes the games better, and it makes it so it's harder to push and it's harder to defend and everything's harder, but then you got that extra player on each team, and now the games are a little bit slower, so you can see what's going on, and you can actually have a good team fight rather than being in Overwatch 2, where everything's so fast-paced, you don't even know what's going on half the time, and you guys lose instantly and you're done. Overwatch 2 also removed a bunch of cool features that was in Overwatch 1. For example, like there was a game mode called Coin Flip. No one liked Coin Flip, by the way. Everybody really hated Coin Flip. I hated Coin Flip as well for the time. But it was fun. It was a fun game mode going, even in ranked, how it was in ranked, and everybody hated that it was in ranked. And it was like RNG random, but that's good. You gotta have some RNG in this game to get some flavor into it. Because if there's no RNG in this game, then it's just a stale game. Like Counter-Strike kind of has that issue as well, but Counter-Strike's doing massive updates now. They brought Train back and everything like that, if you know about Counter-Strike. So that's one of their things. They bring back their maps remake, blah, 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 blah. But Overwatch doesn't really have that. They can't really remake maps because all the maps are in the game. They can't really change the maps too much because they're scared to change the maps, I guess. I will say the updates for Overwatch are not as good as other games, like Counter-Strike, like, say, even Halo. Halo's going to have better updates than what Overwatch is having. This is probably the best update that I've ever seen Overwatch 2 ever come out with, just because it's the original Overwatch. And I really do hope they keep this mode in here. And I do hope they add a ranked mode for Overwatch 1 again and see how players like it. Because if players like 6v6 this much and it's this popular, then why don't you add this game mode back? Why don't you add 6v6 back and put it into the side of Overwatch? Do like a Overwatch Classic rank mode and then do an Overwatch Classic ranked playlist like it is right now. And just keep it in the game and just see how many players play it compared to the regular Overwatch. And if more players are playing this mode than the old mode, than the new modes, then you should change it all back, revert it. Honestly, the community, some of the community will be mad, but you should revert it. And maybe even, I mean, it can live side by side. That's fine with me. Screw it. But I would also add the new characters that they put into the game into the Overwatch 1 mode. So keep all the stuff in Overwatch 1 the same, how all the abilities are, how they act, how their nerfs and all their buffs. Keep them all like that, but then add the new heroes. And then after a little bit, then you can start messing around with the patches, the balances of the Overwatch 1 heroes again. Don't make them how they are now, but just keep it a slow motion type game. Like I keep saying, keep the movement slow, keep the ability slow, and it just makes the game more skillful overall. That's what I think, in my opinion, at least. That's how I just feel. I'm rambling a little bit now, and I've been rambling in this video, but basically this video was just to talk about how Overwatch 1 and Overwatch 2, and how Overwatch 1 is just 10 times, 100 times, billion times better than Overwatch 2, in my opinion. I feel like just overall, the gameplay was just way better in Overwatch 1. What do you guys think? Do you guys think Overwatch 1 was better? Do you guys think Overwatch 2 was better? Do you guys think they need to change how Overwatch 1 is into Overwatch 2? Do you guys think they should keep the Overwatch 1 game mode, which I think they should keep the Overwatch game mode, of course. I think they should keep it in here forever and just have the top 500 ranked mode into it, and then just slowly bring the new heroes into the Overwatch 1 mode in the Overwatch 1 side of Overwatch 2. I guess you would say it's kind of confusing. And then just see what happens. Maybe they can just destroy the Overwatch 2 that they made and just bring it into Overwatch 1 basically and have it all back. I don't know. 90% of the community is literally playing Overwatch Classic and they're not even touching the new Overwatch anymore, right? So yeah, what do you guys think? Leave a comment down below. What do you guys think is better? Overwatch 2, Overwatch 1, aka Classic? And are you guys enjoying it? I am loving the Overwatch Classic mode. It's bringing back so much memories. And even then, I'm having just a lot more fun with the abilities and how the balance changes are from Overwatch 1, how everything's original, and how the characters are brought back to their original selves. It's bringing back a lot more character for me, at least. I feel like Overwatch 2 has lost its character and lost its flow like that. Yeah, if you guys did enjoy this video, you can always leave a like on this video. And also make sure you hit that subscribe button. All right, guys. Have a great day and or night, and peace.